Hi, everyone. Welcome back to a new episode of Emerging Brands Podcast. I have two very special guests. They are someone or two people that I've been following. I've been following the launch around their brand. They are in that really fun, cool moment of starting to see their products on the shelves. A little teaser, I just saw them at Pop Up Grocer. They're in the current rotation. The product looks beautiful. I was able to try the product. Big fan. So, Oliver and Sophia, the founders of OOSO, welcome so much to the podcast.
Thank you very much
Thank
for having
you.
us.
You're so welcome. You're so welcome. So, diving right into it, one, your branding is stunning. The website looks beautiful. The way that you have been launching on social, like you all have been doing it such a beautiful way, in a way that I'm like, "Yes." They get it. They're connecting the dots in such an awesome way. So, I would love to hear first the backgrounds of you both, and then how did USO come together?
Totally.
I think that's a great place to start because how USO came together was very much based on our backgrounds.
Love it.
So why don't you kick it off and then I'll get from
Yeah,
there.
for sure. So I come from the world of wine and spirits. I've been in this world my entire career. I started in sales and moved over to marketing, always with the beverage background. I kind of grew up in beverage. My dad is also in the wine and spirits industry. So beverage has always been a huge part of my life. And so I focus more so on the branding side of things and the sales strategy side of things, where Ollie is more of the numbers.
Yeah, and I guess to fill that in a little more, so I started my career in investment banking, and then did that for 3 years, went back to get my MBA, and then had some consulting experience. So I got a little bit of the strategy, the operations, the finance side of it. And we thought when we were launching this or planning to launch it, that Soph's background along with my background would really complement each other's, and we'd be able to fill in each other's gaps, which we do in our relationship. We're also a couple. We're engaged.
Mhm.
So we're able
Congratulations.
to thank
So
you.
cute.
Thank
All of the
you.
things. Yeah.
So we're able to bring kind of the skills that we have in our relationship also into the business, and we've loved every moment of it. But I guess to bring it further to launching the brand and how our skills lend to that is also in our relationship we love to travel, and we were traveling in Scandinavia. We tried a sparkling tea, and we really enjoyed it. And when we came back here and we realized there wasn't necessarily the same options, and we over COVID started to tinker with non-alc options, working in our own kitchen, formulating. We used tea, and it was a really kind of good base starting point. It had some complexity and some fun flavors.
Yeah, I also think like to take it a little bit deeper, as many of these brands that you're interviewing these days, it came out of COVID and
So many.
so many. So
So
I think it
many.
was like a very scary period for sure, but also a very inspiring and introspective period. I think for Ollie and I, we spent every moment together, and we were in New York City for a lot of it, which was a place that was quite a bit scary and intimidating. And Ollie and I felt a whole lot of anxiety around that time. And so that's kind of a big reason why we cut back on our consumption of alcohol. Beverage has been a big part of my life, and because of that, a big part of Ollie's life. So we really took a look in the mirror and found that limiting our alcohol intake and cutting back really helped our mental health. And that's what the passion really comes from, is we know that this side of the business can really help people, and it's helped us so much with our mental health and our physical health. So it's really been a big piece of how we've gone to market and are thinking about this product.
I could see that through line. And also, I really appreciate how your product in particular, because I've been trying a lot more of non-alc beverages, putting them in the rotation. I love
Yeah.
natural wines, but I'm like, okay, it's good to put them in the rotation. Yours feels more of like that sparkle, elevated crispness that I do love, like especially about like a really beautiful white or like a chilled red, right? Like it's like that
Amazing.
Christmas and it feels elevated. Your product gives me that feeling. Even when I was pouring it, I did an unboxing video and I was pouring it out. Like it has that same feeling, which I
Thank you.
really love.
Yeah, I think, I mean, that's a huge compliment to us because those are all things that we were going for when we were creating OOSO as a brand and a product. And I think there were three kind of overarching goals that we had when we were creating the brand. And it was to create a really good liquid,
Right.
to create, something that makes you feel better the next day and not just kind of net zero of not drinking, but a net positive the next day. And then lastly, the branding and the design of the product we wanted to be, top tier. And I think that, with a lot of effort, I think, and I'm pretty biased, but I think we've been able to hit those and thanks to people like you, we've gotten some great response on the liquid and the design and it's been great so far.
So cool. So you realize, okay, this is something that we could put our talents in, bring both of our best to the table. We see that there's a gap in the market from travels and also through your own personal journeys. It sounds like you're like, okay, there isn't something exactly like this that we want and we enjoy ourselves to then going through COVID, formulating in your kitchen, and then saying, we're gonna do this. Like, we're
Yeah.
gonna start a beverage company. Like, how did from that idea to me just seeing it at pop-up grocer and it looked gorgeous also.
Thank you.
How walk us through because I think that for me, that's like the most magical thing. Like you literally had this idea, you both did, and now I'm
Mhm.
able to shop the product. So could you go through like the overview of, like, that strategy from idea to now being able to shop it?
Yeah, I guess I could start and maybe
Yeah.
so fill in the gaps. But I think, early on and still, I mean, we don't know what we don't know. So it was a ton of research. It was a ton of relying on, friends, reaching out to other founders who have, trotted this path before and figuring out what we need to do and what we need to know. We realized that in the formulation, we had to work with, a formulator to create a scalable and commercially viable product that you're not just steeping, small bags of tea in a kitchen.
Right.
So, that was one of the big steps, understanding that we had to work with a co-packer because we don't have the equipment to produce, large quantities in can and bottle. So, having to find the co-packer was another crazy experience, a lot of research, a lot of reaching out, a lot of no's from co-packers in terms of just their capabilities. Um, we did what else behind the scenes, coming up with a name and
Mhm.
trademarking the name was a huge struggle. And, you come up with a great name and then there are already 10 beverage brands in the US that have it. So that was
That's
one,
a whole journey in itself.
oh my
I
gosh.
work also on
Exactly.
trademarks, so I respect it, and it's a great name, and, I'm such a trademark nerd. I was like, "Oh, good for them. This was a good one."
Well, so why don't you share
Thank
the
you.
background of the name?
Yeah, okay, so the name is really fun. It took us a long time, but we decided we're based in Brooklyn, we're based in Greenpoint, Brooklyn. We wanted to take the heart of Brooklyn, so the two O's in Brooklyn, and then our name, so Sophia Ollie. So the OOSO, the two O's are from Brooklyn, and then our names, Sophia Ollie, to really bring it all together.
I love it. I love moments like this because it's one of those things that a consumer can remember and have that
Yeah.
personal touch and be like, "Oh, yeah, they're from Brooklyn. They're a couple, Sophia and Oliver." Right? Like, it's those things that are
Yeah.
just baked into the brand that as you grow and you scale, you have that touch point with a consumer no matter where they're finding you because, you can't always be standing in front of your product, be like, "This is us.
Yeah.
This is for
Right.
you." And so I love when a name can connect the dots like that. So thank you for going there with me as a nerd for trademarks and names. Thank you.
And
So you landed on a name, you did the trademark, you found the the co-packer,
Yeah.
formulator, and then where did you go next?
I think next we just kind of we brought samples from our very first pilot run And also at the time when we were still formulating, we got samples here and there. And through actually, I'll take a step back. The formulation process, we worked with, the formulator who was great, but we also brought in someone that Soph knows from her career in beverage.
So her name is Lacey Hawkins. She's an amazing mixologist. She has worked for really notable bars across New York City, one of them being Clover Club in Brooklyn, which is, one of the best in the world. And she is a friend of mine from the wine and spirits industry. She has the most amazing palate. And so we went to her with our kitchen samples and we're like, hey, we think we have something really cool here. What do you think? And she was really excited about it. And we basically asked her to come in with us during the formulation process and really bring it to that next level where it would feel like an elevated adult beverage, but have these like really beautiful beginning, middle, end notes so that it's a full experience.
Absolutely. And that is cool. Thank you for adding that in because it does take so many different perspectives to have a stellar product. And so I appreciate you all sharing that and showing how you were tapping into people you knew and having different perspectives. Cause, people could be like, your friends and family be like, no, this is good. And they don't really give you honest feedback. So
Yeah, of
to work with
course.
other industry experts and be like, okay, this is what I would add, or this is what we need to emphasize, or maybe not that. It just shows that you all are listening to people that you trust, but people who are also experts at what they do, which I think
And
is such an important piece of this.
I
100%.
think there's also a fine line between, finding the people that you trust, but also the people that are going to, be honest with you, give you their opinion. And, and I'll get to your question about, what happened next once we created the pilot run and got samples out, but we also did the same thing with our two designers that we're working with. Nick Corey and James Sobel are their names. And, we've been able to, have such a great relationship with them in, I would say it goes beyond a business relationship. Like we really trust them. We love working with them, and we think that they're part of the heart of the brand and the design.
Yeah, they've actually been a huge part of our story. Ollie and I, when we decided, okay, we're going to do this, we essentially set a number which we felt, okay, we can afford this. If the designers come back to us and say they can hit this number, we'll launch this product. Essentially, we were like, we're just going to put it up to the guys.
Basically offloaded the decision on starting a business to these two designers. So they
Oh my God.
I think we told them that.
I'm not sure if they know that, but.
And we'll send them, they're going to listen to this. We're going to send it to them. So maybe they'll find out then. But I mean, they're a huge reason beyond just the design.
It's a funny part of our story. Like we were like, okay, we want to do this. We want to work with people who we really love and admire. Can we afford it, essentially?
Right.
And we've been able to work with people who have really believed in us, which has been amazing. And we've also worked really hard to find things within our budget. So like for our trademark, for example, we worked with a college that helped us with that.
Yeah, as a clinic who does that kind of thing. So yeah, we've been gritty, but
scrappy.
Scrappy,
resourceful, gritty, scrappy.
Yeah. Or trying our best to be. But to finally answer your question you asked a couple minutes ago, we would bring samples to retailers. We'd cold call, reach out to retailers to try and get our product on the map. We realized that accounts on Instagram that for lack of a better term are tastemakers in the CPG space. They took to our branding pretty quickly, which was fantastic, and we were humbled by that. So to have those accounts push out the images of the product and get people interested, I think that was kind of the next step that we took that started to get it to be real and was like that first little step to getting it on shelf.
And also your photography. I even messaged you both and I was like, who did this? I mean, your gifts with this New York City skyline, I'm like, oh my gosh. I was such a nerd because I create images for the podcast episode, and for you guys, you sent over so many great ones, like you're gonna have like a whole carousel because I'm like it's too good. I need to put these images everywhere. So I really admire founders who pay attention to those things, because one set of really great photos to get you out the door it really does make a difference because you're able to send it to media, you're able to send it to retailers, you're able to send it to different publications.
Mhm.
And I really get the sense that you guys really value other creatives in the process. Like, I just picked up on that because I could see, because I even started following people you all had mentioned
Mhm.
too. And I'm like, yes, they're working with other people who they are those experts in those niches. And really, I've connected the dots in a really great way. So I just want to give a shout out to you guys because I know that's not easy to put those pieces together, but I think you guys have done such a great job.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. And I
You're
would also
welcome.
say, like, we are very lucky that we're in the heart of creativity. Like New York City,
Right.
there's so many creative people here that want to support each other. So we have a little bit, we're a bit lucky in that way where we know people who
Yeah.
we really love and appreciate their work. And there's lots of people we've met through launching this product that we feel the same way about. It's just like a really great community.
I feel the same way. I feel the same way. I feel really lucky being here and having this community because sometimes you feel like you're on an island by yourself running a business or starting business or supporting businesses, whatever your niche is. But New York City, it really is such a great community here.
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
walk us through now you're in retail, right? You're selling, are you selling online as well?
We are, yeah. Our website ships cans nationwide.
Incredible. So walk us through what is the vision now? So you got the launch out. You only technically launched what, a couple of months ago?
Yeah, less than two.
If
I think
that?
between a month and a half to a month and three
Yeah, like
quarters
six
ish.
Like,
weeks
Yeah.
ish. Yeah.
amazing, amazing. I remember when Oliver, you brought me the sample and I was like, "Where can I get it?" Or "Where can I have?" And you're like, "It's not even out yet." And I was like, "Oh my gosh, this is amazing." Like, it made my day. I love getting like first dibs on stuff. So you're out maybe 6 weeks now. Walk us through, what does this look like? I know you're at Pop-Up Grocer, but and other specialty grocers, like
Yep.
what's the strategy there now?
Yeah, we are actually just launching with a distributor starting
Amazing.
today, which is
Yeah,
exciting.
today.
Wow. Okay,
Yeah,
great timing to capture this.
great timing. Yes. So we're currently in 7 stores across New York and Brooklyn, but that'll expand pretty quickly over the next handful of months. And we're really looking at that independent grocer in New York City specifically that we want to grow in. One, because we feel like our target consumer, more of like a younger, design forward thinking person is going to these stores. So that's really where we're focusing our energy. And we're finding that especially there's a in grocery, there's a bit of seasonality. Like our cans are doing super well in the fridge, but also when we see sampling, our 750 bottles are also being pulled. So it's a very different use case, but we're seeing some good traction from both of our sizes.
And I guess to add to that is, where we go from here, we're really looking to focus on the New York market, New York City market in terms of penetration and velocity. We have, I mean, Sophie mentioned 7 stores currently in New York City. We have, I think close to 30 other stores nationwide who have, organically reached out and ordered, and, we love them as partners to get our brand out to other people. But our focus is really, let's, tackle the New York market. Let's get people familiar with the brand and build that community here in Manhattan, Brooklyn, and Queens.
Incredible. I'm big fan, guys. I
Thank
love
you.
what you're doing, and I'm really happy that you're going across New York City, so when I'm in other parts or not necessarily in my own neighborhood, I could also find
Mhm.
it. Because again, it's a great one to go if you're going to a party or you're going to dinner party or someone's home. Like, it's a great one that you feel like, again, it's a elevated, sophisticated, well balanced, beautiful flavors, but having that option for either yourself or other people, and just to have in the rotation and also just to try it. There's so
Mhm.
much more interest now in the non-alc space. It's a good one just to do a tasting with friends, right? And to have it
Exactly. Yeah.
as an experience. So I know you just mentioned it, but if someone is in New York City, any places that you're really focusing on driving people to, and then also where outside of the city, where is the easiest place for people to find retailers?
Yeah, so I mean, in terms of finding retailers, our website has all of them. We keep that quite updated. You know, we made it a little bit of a game where Sophie and I enjoy adding different cities to our website with little emojis. So
Love it.
take a look at that. If you have any feedback on your city's emoji, let us know and we could update it. But in terms of in the city, you know, Big Night is a great retailer that we love. Both the West
Yes.
Village and the Greenpoint location has OOSO.
Amazing.
You know, Minus Moonshine, which is, you know, one of the early bottle shops in New York City, has both of our products, the bottle and the can, and both flavors. You know, we're just really excited to partner with more stores in the city. I don't know
Yeah,
who else.
I would say also Talea in
Yeah.
Williamsburg.
Yeah.
We have a lot of friends that frequent Talea and they've seen OOSO there, which is really fun. So that's a fun
So
place for
cool.
people who are going to brewery but maybe don't want to have alcohol. So it's a really great option for even like a date night. So we've seen some good feedback on that one.
And then
That's I
mean,
love that partnership.
Yeah.
I mean, we love Talea as well. We
Same.
were people who frequented the brewery to begin with, so knowing that
Mhm.
they have our product, we're even bigger fans now.
Yeah.
That's
Um,
really cool.
but yeah, I mean, pop-up grocer, as you said, Happier Grocery in the city. There's a ton of, you know, really great partners that we're really excited about, you know, being in their on their shelves and seeing the product moving.
Well, congratulations to you both. 6 weeks in, incredible milestones right off the bat.
Thank
I'm
you.
just genuinely cheering for you both. You guys have done
Thank
such a
you.
great job. Thank you for coming on and sharing this. I remember when I first pitched to Oliver, I was like, "Can you come on the podcast?" He's like, "Well, let us launch first." I was like,
Yeah,
"Okay, this is
we need
really
something to
cool."
talk about other
So
than
true.
dropping off little
No,
samples.
totally. But even that moment to me, I was like, this is the stuff that I personally love to capture
Yeah.
and the stories. And 6 weeks in, being able to share all of this. I know so many founders and soon to be founders are going to just find so much inspiration and encouragement from you all sharing so authentically. And so I just genuinely appreciate you all taking us on. And I would love to do another episode, maybe like next year of like,
Yeah, that'd be
Sounds
we're
fun.
a
great.
year in and here's what happened. Like, I'm really thrilled to have this captured and to be able to share this. So thank you both so much.
Yeah, of
Thank
course.
you.
And you know, thank you for having us on. And to anyone who is listening and you know has questions, like connect with us on LinkedIn,
Yeah.
message us. You know, we love to connect with the founder community. People have been so kind to us, and we're looking to pay that
Yeah,
forward.
absolutely.
So, but yeah, thank you again, Kelly, for having us
Awesome.
on.
Awesome. Well, congrats. Thank you everyone for listening. Go check out USO and congrats on the journey so far. And I look forward to hearing more. Bye,
Thanks,
everyone.
Kelly.
Bye.